Hello, caregivers, and welcome to Let's Talk Dementia. I am Carol Howell, your host, internationally certified dementia practitioner, and author of the Amazon best-selling book, Let's Talk Dementia. You can see it right there. It's so cute. Write me and tell me what's going on in your world, questions you might have, or comments. Or maybe you would like to hear a show about a specific topic, whatever you want to talk about. Carol at letstalkdementia.org. You can find everything we produce, whether it's written or video or audio, at our website, letstalkdementia.org, and I hope you will check it all out. And of course, the books are there too. Of course they are. Well, today I want to talk about having the driving conversation. Now, that can be a tough conversation. I had the pleasure today of meeting with a lady who told me about the driving conversation she had with her mom. We're going to talk about that in a little bit. But having the driving conversation can be a difficult thing. There comes a time in our lives, whether we have dementia or not, that we understand driving, being behind the wheel of a car, can become a dangerous thing. Let's talk about that for a minute. Just normal aging. Now, we're not talking about dementia right now. As we age, our peripheral vision changes. So if I find a spot ahead of me that I'm going to stare at, and I put my arms out as far as they will go straight out, and I bring my hands in, and get this one up here, and I stop where when I begin to see my hands right and left, that's my peripheral vision right to left. If I do the same thing top to bottom, that's my peripheral vision top to bottom. And it varies with each person, and it changes as you age. It's just a normal part of aging. Well, driving is that one thing in your life that you definitely need peripheral vision for. You know, you're going down the interstate paying attention, there's cars going, you're looking for the exit sign. You know, Michael Bublé's playing good songs on the radio. I kind of like listening to him. But you need to know if there's a car coming up along beside you, you can't turn and do this. You might look in your mirror, but you know there's that blind spot in the mirror where you can't see it. So that peripheral vision is important to know what's coming up beside you. So as we age, driving becomes more difficult and more challenging and potentially more dangerous. Now, let's look at peripheral vision with Alzheimer's. It gets smaller and smaller and smaller until in the last stages of peripheral vision it's very small, and we go from binocular vision, both eyes, to monocular vision, and that eye probably has cataracts, it may have glaucoma, you may have some macular degeneration. If they are in the last stages of their disease, I can guarantee you they're wearing the wrong prescription, because we can no longer get them tested at the eye doctor to answer those questions to get the right prescription. So do you see how driving becomes dangerous? Yeah, it is. So what we want to do is not to postpone that conversation. We want to begin that conversation long before there's a problem. You need to sit down and go, okay, Mom and Dad, when the time comes that the family has discerned that it's just dangerous for you to drive, what do you want life to look like? Who do you want your driver to be? Would you like to have the ability to hire an Uber, to which they're going to go, what's an Uber? So you can explain that one. It's where you pay a stranger so you can get in their car, which is what you've told me my whole life never to do. Life is interesting. Or do you want to hire a taxi? Or do you want to have a list of friends that you can call who will take you places? But, you know, Dad, I think I'd like to be the one that drives you. I think it would be a great time to spend together and a good excuse for me to do it, too. Oops, got to go. Got to take Daddy to the grocery store. So lay that groundwork ahead of time, so at least you've had that ability to talk with them beforehand. I just realized my lunch plate's in your viewing area. Let me just move that. That's not very pretty. It was a good lunch, though. Start by driving your loved one as many times as you can. So we're past that conversation. It's time to start doing it. Maybe they are in agreement, everything's fine, and we're going to start driving them. Maybe they are not in agreement, but let's still start driving them. It's going to be your approach. If you go, get in the car, I'm going to drive you to the doctor because you're a horrible driver and you're 82 years old, and that lady on the TV or on YouTube or wherever you're watching me said, you shouldn't be driving. That's not going to go over too good, so don't do that. What you want to say is, you know, Dad, let's just spend some time together. I'm going to drive you to the doctor. While you're at the doctor, I'm going to run to the bank, and then you and I are going to go get some lunch, or we're going to go do something that Dad might want to go do. That transition makes it easier for down the road when they're not driving at all. So when it's actually time to have the conversation, where you tell them that they are not going to be driving, that you really do need the keys, and you're probably going to sell the car and cancel the insurance and all that. You want to do that conversation with the right people in the room with you. And those right people would be people that they respect, people who might lend some credence to what you're saying, and you have talked with those folks ahead of time. Now, if it's family members, you definitely need to talk ahead of time. I have 2 sisters. There's been probably 5 times in our whole life we've all been on the same page about a topic. It just doesn't happen. I don't know how that happens, but it's the truth. So you want to have that conversation ahead of time. This is what we're going to say. This is going to be the plan. You're going to say this, and I'm going to say that. We're all going to come together. And you want to approach your loved one in a very positive manner. That, as I said, that you're doing this for their safety, and it will make you feel better if you would just please allow me to do this for you rather than you driving. I would worry so much less, and the worrying is just making my belly hurt and making me tense, and I get headaches when I worry about you. And just let me do this for you, please, because I love you so much. Sometimes that positive approach that you're doing it to help them, but they're doing it to help you, and that you want to spend time with them is a very good way to approach it. If you have that conversation, be prepared for the fact that they might not speak to you for days. They may not. They may not take your phone calls. They may not answer the door. You may become Satan himself to them. Now, if they have dementia, they're going to forget that, and they're going to go on. And you want to get past that time, give it a little bit of time, and have the conversation again. But this time, bring with you somebody different. Maybe bring a person of authority, like their pastor, or maybe approach it at the doctor's office, but somebody who can, instead of you saying it, the person in authority in their world that they respect can say it. Having the doctor say it does really work well. So think about that. So when explaining why you don't want them to drive, it's good to have some statistics because, your opinion is like a nose. Everybody's got one and nobody really cares. So we want to have some statistics. And there was a study done that showed 47% of crashes that folks with dementia, I'll say it right in a minute, folks with dementia showed a 47% rate of crashes compared to 10% of folks who did not have dementia over a 4 or a 5 year period. From 10% to 47%. That's almost half of the people with dementia are going to have a crash in 5 years. Doesn't that scare you? It does, because who are they crashing with? Well, me and you, that's who. People with dementia are 2.5 to 4.5 times more likely to have collisions because of their diagnosis. That's scary. So you got to think about that peripheral vision and what it does. But also think about reaction times. How quickly you go, stop! They stopped in front of me, I wasn't expecting it, or off to the side, or whatever you got to do. You're quick at that. Reaction times go down with normal aging, and they definitely go down with dementia. It's a big part. Peripheral vision and reaction time are huge in safe driving. You know this. I want you to remember that your LO has been driving for maybe 50 or 60 years. And they brought you into this world. And if you make them mad enough, they can take you out of this world. So keep that in mind. And you don't want to make them mad. You really don't. So you really do have to approach it in a kind and loving way. On the happy side, you very well might have a loved one who approaches it very upbeat. Let me tell you about the client I met with today, or the fellow provider in the elder care industry. She's not a client. She was telling me that her mom, they had a conversation with mom that, Mom, we think it's time for you to move to an independent living community. So we don't want you living by yourself. And they figured mom was going to go like, I'm not moving. I'm not doing it. And she went, okay, that's a good idea. Let's do it. And then they said, and we think you should maybe stop driving, that, maybe driving is dangerous for you. And she said, oh, okay, that's fine. You want to sell my car? That's how it went, all in a matter of 24 hours. And she told her neighbors she was putting her house on the market, and her neighbor bought it the next day. Crazy stuff, right? Well, I know that doesn't happen all the time, but it happens more than you think. With my mama was driving to see the doctor, the family doctor she'd been going to see for years. And when she got to the right age, she called me, and she said, Pookie, how do I get to Dr. Omi's office? I can't find it. Mama, where are you? She said, I'm at the Rite Aid. And she said, I've been driving all over and I can't find it. See, and it was then I knew Mama did not need to be driving. And that's when we had the driving conversation when Mama came back. And I said, Mama, instead of you driving, why don't I just go with you? I want to know what the doctor's got to say. I'm happy to take you anywhere you want to go, especially if you're going to buy me lunch. And she's like, Pookie, that's great. Let's do it. Are we going to sell my car? I said, well, we can. So we waited, I don't know, it was about a month or so. And we sold her car. It was no big deal at all. It was just like, no problem. She was happy to be waited on and to be driven around. I can tell you when the time comes for me to quit driving, you ain't going to hear no complaining from me. I pretty much am driven around a whole lot now. Since we moved to Florida, my husband has taken on a part-time job. He's not around to drive me so much. I'm just a little bit irked about that. I have to drive myself, which means I can't take a nap. You know, a nap while he drove. So anyway, think about that because you got to keep your loved ones safe. It's just, and everybody around them safe. You don't want your loved one to have an accident and hurt somebody. When you think about the cost of hiring an Uber or a taxi or paying a friend or something like that and you think it's expensive, think about the cost of the car, the upkeep of the car, the insurance of the car, but think about what it would cost if they had an accident and got sued. Not good at all. Well, a special thank you to our sponsors, HD Imports, located in York County, South Carolina, 803-985-0985, mechanic of choice for Honda, Hyundai, Acura, Toyota, and Kia. Great people. Beth Crosby, she's my editor. You can reach her at editorbeth.com, and she will be fantastic at proofing and editing what you have written. And you need her if you're writing something or you got a website. And then National Association of Veterans and Families at navf.org, 800-352-2919. Contact them and ask them about aid and attendance as well as other benefits for your veteran, the spouse of the veteran, or both. It's a very simple thing. You'll be glad you called them. They're just nice people. Well, as always, I like to remind you that this show is brought to you because of the goodness of the Lord. We have sponsors, yes, and we want to help you, yes, but we couldn't do anything without His goodness, and I'm thankful for that. And in memory of my sweet mama, Miss Vera Jean Holder, and there's her report card. I don't know what grade it is. It's not in the picture, but she got A's and B's, except in first quarter she got a C in mathematics and a C in conduct. Wonder what Vera Jean was doing then that she shouldn't have been doing. But she got an A in Bible. There you go. That's my mama. I hope you guys have a great day. Blessings and smiles on your caregiving journey. Bye-bye.